Hello, my loves. Happy solstice. When you're hopping on, let me know that you're here. I'm going to get everything finished setting up, and then I'm going to give you guys a list of the things that you may want to have with you in order for this ceremony to be most beneficial. Hello, everybody. I'm so excited. Hi, Corey. Oh, thank you. You're so sweet. Yay. The energy has been very, very intense today. So as we're preparing, let me give you guys a few things that you might want to gather before we get started. So pen and paper is going to be super important. If you have the ability to have something that you can burn with, otherwise you can cut up the paper or rip up the paper and hold it and burn it later. You can do that as well. If it's too cold to go outside and burn, or if you don't have a space to do it, you can also use water. So you can have beautiful water. You can put herbs in it or flowers or anything that you desire, really, or nothing at all. And you can place what we're going to be doing into the water as well. Okay, because it's all a symbolism. It's all intention and in symbolism. So on the paper, what I'm going to be doing personally, and I invite for you to do as well. And please let me know if you guys can hear me, because I have background music going and I want to make sure you can all hear me good. On the paper, if you have a piece of paper, if you can write an estimate, or if you actually know the dollar figure of all of your debt that you're in at this moment. Thank you, Jade. Thank you for telling me. So I have mine, what my current debt is. I've also preset intentions for things in my life that I want to experience a complete and utter rebirthing in. So just have some intentions starting to surface of some things that maybe over the last 7 to 10 years, or maybe throughout this whole entire journey, that have been things that you have been holding on to, that things that quite have not been working, cycles, patterns, relationships, emotions, anything, literally anything goes. Having those things starting to come to the surface as we chat and prepare for our ceremony. Those would be super, super helpful. Also, any water with you. We're going to be calling in, some of it's already here, some very powerful energy. And that can leave you very, very thirsty. Very, very thirsty. Okay, so we're just going to give it just another minute as we allow for people to get the notification and hop on. Looks like we got some more people hopping on. And please know that during the ceremony part, it will be you will be in a meditative state. It is a transmission. So if you will be able to be in a space where you can relax and not be interrupted, that would be beneficial as well. Okay. All right, we're going to get started. So I wanted to start by sharing something with you guys that's a little bit more about what's been happening with me and my understanding, and just the energies overall. I have been going through a bit of a rebirthing as I prepare for a little bit of a quantum leap. Actually, I think it's a pretty big quantum leap. And as I was contemplating today, all the things that have been going on and leading up to this moment, I was given a beautiful analogy, if you will, by my team. And I wanted to share that with you guys because I felt it was very powerful, at least for me, to symbolize the importance of going through these rebirthing experiences. They showed me as a plant in the soil, in a pot, being nourished by the sun, basically fed by the sun, receiving those beautiful light coats as my food for my soul, and the beautiful waters that rained upon it, just cleansing the toxins over and over again, every time, just really nourishing that soil and purifying it and cleansing it, and allowing me to grow and be stronger and more expanded and more powerful. And they said you can only get to a certain point, because as you grow and you expand and you receive and you grow and you expand, you outgrow the pot that you are in. And the pot is a symbol for the container, the structure, the routines, the beliefs, the systems we put in place for our being. Whether that's setting up a schedule where we meditate and move our bodies and our structures for handling situations that are heavy. Whatever that is, having that structure, that pot represents that structure that we are in, each of us. And your roots can only go so far in one of those pots, right? Otherwise, it starts to wind up super, super tight, and it begins to stunt its growth, and it can no longer receive and hold that bandwidth anymore. And eventually the vibration that it begins to send out is, I am small, I can't take anymore, I have no more room. And it pretty much builds this barricade where it slowly begins to wilt and die away. And that symbolism is a perfect example of where so many of us are right now in this moment. Because a lot of times we are afraid to take that next step. We are afraid to jump. We're afraid to go to the new level, the new thing, the new awareness, the new opportunity, the new relationship, the new state, the new job, the new experience. We're afraid to make that leap. And so we stay in our old structures. And we say, nope, we're going to stay right here because it's comfortable and we're familiar with it. And we just got used to this pot and this structure and this environment. But then when you sit there long enough in that old energy and in that state of you can literally not expand or receive or grow anymore, everything around you starts to fall away. Things in your life stop working. Money stops coming in. Relationships start having issues. Jobs, you lose your jobs or you lose clients. Things in your home start to break, right? random things start happening and you think, oh my gosh, like, what am I doing? What did I do to deserve all of this chaos or bad luck even? And they say that's not what it is at all. It's, you have received all the light that you can receive and all the nourishment that you can receive and everything that you need to grow. And you can't receive any more. You've met your capacity and you need to be able to expand and grow, but that's going to require you to break free of that structure, to break free and allow that structure to fall. And when it does, you enter into what I call the void. And that's a space of complete and utter unknown, where you don't know who you are yet in this new space. You don't know what you're going to build that structure in, that pot. You don't know what you're going to make it of. You don't know what beliefs, what systems. You don't know what you're going to make that structure out of. And they say that's the perfect place to be, because you're literally just in fresh soil and you're in this pure black place where most people are so afraid of being, because you're nothing, but you're everything. And you just don't know yet. And that's okay, because in that black space, that darkness that you lean into, as we enter into in the Northern Hemisphere, the darkest day of the year, we're stepping into this unknown space. And we get to create. So many people are afraid of that dark, that stillness where they feel confused, they feel melancholy, they feel depressed, they feel like there's no purpose. But in that space, when you allow yourself to completely fall, when you allow yourself to stop grasping on to the things that will break your fall, and you just allow yourself to hit that complete and utter surrender moment in the abyss of energy, you just find yourself in this peaceful moment where you realize that you are everything within the nothing and nothing within the everything. And that, I know it probably doesn't make sense to a lot of you in this moment, but it was the most amazing symbolism that they could give me today, and wanted me to share that with you. Because when you are going through these big rebirthing stages and changes, it's really important for you guys to know that space of stillness where you don't know who you are, and you don't know what's next, and you don't even know where you're going or what you want. It's okay to just be in that space and just to find peace within you. And to know that even though things may be uncertain or chaotic or even sad and lonely at times, that you will still be okay. That you are still the most divine, loving being, and you're surrounded by people. You're surrounded by ancestors. You're surrounded by your guides and angels. And you're never going to be alone. You're always supported. And so as tonight we enter into that space, I really wanted you guys to have that visual as we move forward. So what we're going to be doing this evening is transforming old energies. Transforming decades, not just this decade, but decades of things, energies, relationships, from density and painful and hard, mom relationships, dad relationships, money stories, job relationships, whatever it is. I want you guys to experience feeling that energy, and allowing it to transform into a crystallization that we place into our hearts so that we have appreciation for that lesson and we can have gratitude for our journeys. And that's my wish for each of you today. So if you guys are newly hopping on, what you would need to have with you if you want to participate fully in this ceremony is pen and paper. I have a cauldron. You can also use a cast iron pan or a cooking pan if you want to put a single tea light in it and use it for burning. You can also use a bowl of water, or you can cut up your paper or rip up your paper and burn it later for the ceremony, okay? We're already going to start calling in some energy. And then you're going to want to have some water. You can have candles, crystals, whatever it is that you are desiring. And then you guys just let me know when you have everything and you are ready. And how you guys are feeling today. Oh, let me tell you while we're waiting for everybody to comment. This morning I woke up and I'm just going to give you guys a little glimpse of how I feel energy from the cosmos. So this morning I got up and I was getting up to feed the dogs and I felt this warm plasma type energy. And this is what kind of happens every time we're anchoring big energies. But this way it felt a little bit different. I felt this warm plasma energy just start entering into the right side of my head and just starting to slowly come down. And it was burning my eye, just this one eye, coming down into my nose. And I could feel this burning sensation in my nose all the way down through my cheek. And then it came down. This was all over a matter of a half an hour. Came down into my jaw, and I started feeling it in my teeth. And my teeth started to hurt a little bit. And for those of you that don't know, we hold a lot of fears in our teeth. Down into the jaw, and then it started moving down the side of my neck. And then I was just like, my nose started pouring. I started coughing. And then I could feel the energy start flowing through the rest of my body and then out my feet. So I know that we are having some intense light codes coming through to really help us embody and anchor our multidimensional bodies, because we are multidimensional. This isn't about being galactic or angelic or whoever you work with. Your body is multidimensional. It's made up of many, many lifetimes, many different energies, many different versions of you. And it's quite magical when you start playing in that energy. So let me know when you guys are ready. I got everything for the ceremony, my first winter solstice. Oh, yay! Yay, I'm so happy. This is actually the first solstice ceremony I think I've done online. Okay. So if you guys have your paper, let's go ahead and get started. I want you guys to begin. We're going to begin with your money story. So how many of you have debt? You don't have to tell me how much. How many of you have debt? And I would love for you to give me a word or two of what that debt feels like to you. I can tell you for me, my debt has always felt, anytime I've carried debt, it's always felt heavy. It's always felt heavy. I've always felt this pressure to pay it back quickly, meaning I couldn't hold that debt. And I often felt shame, which I really don't feel anymore, but I am going to include it on my list. Shame because we've been, at least my experience, we were so programmed that debt is a terrible thing and that we should never have any. And that we should be embarrassed or shameful if we're in a lot of debt. And so I'm going to write down, and I invite you to do the same, write down some words that your debt feels like to you. And be real honest with yourself. It's really important that we're honest with ourselves during this. Yes, cinder blocks. Feels like I'm drowning. Unempowering. Yes, unempowering. I like that. It's not disempowering, it's unempowering. Yes, good words. I invite you guys to write that down. But what I would also like for you to do, and we're going to do this a couple of times through a couple of things, and I'm going to explain to you why. As you look at these words, and if you have your dollar figure or an estimate of what your debt is, I invite you to write it down with the words, that how debt feels to you. You guys, I actually wrote it down to the cent, what my current debt is. That's how serious I am about this. Hi, Crystal. It's fine if you just got here. You're going to need pen and paper. You're going to need some water, and some water to put your paper in, or something to put it in to burn, or you can burn it later. So what we're doing is we're writing down some words of what our debt feels like. So for me, I put heavy, feels like pressure, that I can't sit with it, I can't hold it, I can't carry it, it's too heavy, it's too much pressure on me. And shame, for being in debt, for not having what I needed for what I needed. And then what I would like you guys to do is I would like you to close your eyes. And just take a couple of deep breaths. Just bringing your body into a very neutral state, very relaxed state. And then I want you to envision in your mind's eye all of your debt, every last cent. I want you to see it in front of you, all those words, all the judgment, all the fear. All the weight. And I want you to bring your conscious awareness, every bit of your awareness, into your body now. Where do you feel that energy when you feel into your debt, when you think about your debt? How does it show up in your body? For me, I personally feel it on my shoulders and in the back of my neck. And just tune into where you feel it. And then I want you to make a note of it where you feel that. And you can share it with us if you'd like. Not having enough, consistent, stuck, relieving, frustrating. It feels disappointment, failure, dependency, limiting, consuming. Yes, look at all these. You guys are so strong and amazing for sharing all of this. Look at all of the words and vibrations that we have associated with money in general. So as you guys notice where these energies live in your body, taking note of what that feels like. It's really, really important for us as we move into 2020 that we begin to recognize that a part of ourself is our body, and how strong our body is at telling us what is going on with us so simply, right? It's not complicated. It's not over emotional. It's not tightly wound up in all of these beliefs. It's simply a feeling that we carry in our bodies that gives us an instant knowing of what is happening in our reality, of what our body is saying is going on when we discuss or sit down to do our bills, when we use that credit card, or we make just the minimum payment instead of paying it off. Solar plexus and shoulders. Body feels like a turtle withdrawing from its shell. My shoulders and neck should rise up and curl forward. Shoulders, chest, and around my neck. That's a lot of weight that we bear right here, right? And it's usually a lot of it's attached to those financial things. And so what we're going to be doing today with this is we're going to be transforming this relationship with money and with debt in general. Because what I would like for you to contemplate during this is we've all heard how money is just energy and form, right? But if that's true, I want you to think about our debt in a different way in this moment, because this is what we're going to do. Money is just an energy, just as time, just as we are, just as anything. But we have given this energy such a negative label and made it so heavy, because remember, a lower vibration, a negative vibration, something that we would consider negative, a lower vibration means that it's slower, it's heavier, it's more concentrated, right? Because a higher vibration is much faster, which makes it much lighter and more expansive. So here's part 2, and we're going to be doing this a couple of times. So with our debt, I want you to write down all of the things, and I really want you guys to share in the comments with this one, because this is important. All that this debt has allowed you to do. What has this beautiful resource that we call credit? What has it allowed you and given you a chance to experience, have, that you may not have been able to do before? Can we switch our correlation with debt from bad, shameful, heavy, stressful into an energy of a resource that is replenishable? Because every time you make a payment, every time you pay it off, you're replenishing that source, that resource. And so we really want to take some time and appreciate whatever that amount of money is, all the things that it has allowed you to do and given you over however long of time you've had it. So let's start hearing what everybody has gotten to. She says my toes have also curl up and clench. Yeah, it's a lot. So for me, my debt has allowed me to expand my business, to travel, to experiment with my health. You know, all the natural ways aren't covered by insurance for the most part. And this is what the majority of my debt is. It's been to grow my business, to travel, and to really work on my health from a holistic standpoint. And it doesn't matter what you've used it for. It's about appreciating and notating and telling the universe, oh my gosh, these are the things that this resource has allowed me to do. And I am so appreciative that I was able to do those things. And infusing your debt, your credit, with the energy of replenishment and appreciation. That's what's so important right now, especially moving forward. When we're going to be seeing clearly, we need to see through the lens of the truth and not what the collective conditioning has distorted it to be, if that makes any kind of sense. Take care of my family, giving me the ability to get my family to and from appointments, school, family activities, all important things, right? Having that ability to do that. Find values, be present with my children, discover my voice, uncovered my desire to be present as a mother. And the way that that looks for me, that's beautiful. I love that. In writing it down, it's one thing to express it and think it. It's another to write down these words, especially in pen, because it's a symbolic thing of permanent, right? Pen is permanent. So when we write it down, we write down our appreciation, our gratitude, and what these resources have allowed for us. It helps that to be crystallized, experience to transform and heal. Yes, sister. Yes. Two college degrees, heat in the winter, AC in the summer, a place to store and cook food, and repair my vehicle. Oh, yes. All beautiful ways to use that resource. My debt called me to self-healing modalities and ways of healing that I couldn't do on my own, or that I could do on my own. It has birthed your spirituality. Yeah. When we go through big, for me, it was, gosh, I was just thinking about this today, my awakening. And some of the things that happen leading up to it. It's usually, for the most part, not always, but for, I would say 75%, it's usually big life events, right? So scary life events, even near-death experiences, bankruptcies, being homeless, losing everything, sickness, illness in yourself or family, that usually begins this journey to begin with. And so if we can transform anything, right? Because everything's energy. It cannot be created. It cannot be destroyed. It can only change form. We want to change the form of the word debt. And instead, let's see it as indebted. Indebted in gratitude for the resource before you. Indebted in gratitude for the resource before you. Because the true debt is the gratitude that we owe the ability to have a resource like credit to provide us with an opportunity to not only have the necessities, but to explore the things that our soul is desiring. We can transform any word, any energy into something that is light and more expansive. And we can allow that to be our new way of seeing it. Now, that doesn't mean that we will be forever living in debt or forever holding that debt. But what it means is when we can accept this debt into our heart space, and we can say, oh, this gratitude, I have so much gratitude. I am so indebted to the universe in a deep sense of appreciation and gratitude for what you've allowed me to do. That all I can do is sit and appreciate all that I have been able to experience, have because of you. Having that relationship, that communication, that open vulnerability, intimacy with all parts of your life. And money is such a big thing for everybody in this human experience. We see it as a sense of security and safety, even though I'm sure you guys know that that's an illusion. But this has become a physical manifestation, a physical symbol of our safety and security. Taught me to find comfort in the unknown and discomfort of certainty. Yes. Good words. Good words. So let's do this for a moment. I want you guys I want you to hold that dollar figure in your head, right? You can estimate if you need to. And I want you to see that in your mind's eye in front of you. And I want you to bring that energy into your heart space. I want to see you pulling that energy in, that number, that little piece of paper, pulling it into your heart space and breathing with it. And just saying, I am safe. I trust. I am deserving of this resource. And I am worthy of it being replenished. Debt is not a energy that is shameful. It is an energy we should be in appreciation and grateful for. Because without it, all of those things that you have written down or listed wouldn't have happened. You would not be exactly where you are in this moment with all that experience, with all of those things that bring your life to life without it. And when we transform this energy into appreciation and gratitude, when we change its meaning to a resource that I've used, what does that feel like in your body? For me, it feels like limitlessness. I almost feel like I'm in an expanded state and I'm not even physical. What does it feel like for you when you just transform that word, those energies from heavy and dense into resourceful, does that feel like for you? And once you've done that, I want you to start folding up your piece of paper with those words on it. Fold it up. We got some big energy starting to come in. Feels like I'm expanding like a hot air balloon. Oh, yes, I love that. Doesn't it feel fabulous when you just transform that energy so simply? So simply. So simple. Fold that piece of paper up with that number on it, with what those energies feel like. Today we're going to break a pattern. So when I was telling you guys about the pot and outgrowing the pot and, having to be into that expanded state, this is how you know this is what a pattern looks like. I'm going to show you. So this is a pattern. Okay. And where each of those X's are is an opportunity. When a pattern repeats, this is an opportunity, right, for you in each moment to respond differently, to change the meaning. And then as you proceed, to show up differently, to respond differently, to think and speak differently. And instead of calling it debt or credit, we call it a resource, an infinite resource that we will replenish. We change our terminology. We align it with who we truly are at our highest. And every time we feel that different in our body, every time we feel when we use that credit card or that bill comes in and we sit down to pay it, every time we sit with that energy and we notice our body is different, we breathe into that space. And we say, I am safe. I trust. I am free. We neutralize what my team calls the trauma alert system in our body. We find appreciation in our heart for that resource. And we speak it differently. We show up differently. We command the universe in a totally different way. Crystal says, I just had my eyes closed watching a spiral of life energy flow from my root to light up all around the spine to my third eye, and then you've drawn it. That's awesome. So today we're going to break a pattern, okay? We're going to break this pattern, and we're going to say we're not going to do it anymore, all right? So with your paper folded up, I want you to begin to tear it. But with each tear, I really want you to bring all of your attention, all of your awareness to saying, I am going to show up differently this time. I choose what debt means to me. It's an infinite resource. This pattern will not repeat. I will appreciate, enjoy, and utilize this resource with appreciation and a gratitude reflection. so it is. And if you're able to, put it in a little space that you can burn it, or put it in water. And we'll do that shortly. I want you guys to just breathe, releasing that energy. Now we're going to move on to relationships. Isn't it cool? I thought it was cool too. You guys are awesome. Okay. So I want you guys to tune in for a moment to one or two relationships. Let's work with one at a time. You guys can always come back and do this ceremony multiple times. We're harnessing the solstice energy, okay? So you can come back and do this ritual as many times as you'd like. But I want you to pick a relationship that has been your biggest struggle to date. Whether that is a family member, your significant other, maybe a past significant other, maybe it's with yourself. Right? Because we have a relationship with ourselves. We have many versions of ourselves. So I want you to pick the relationship that you want to focus on for this solstice. And I want you to put their name at the top of your next piece of paper. And I want you to feel into that relationship. When they call, when you see them, when you reflect back on the memories with them. And I want you to tune in to what those words are and just whatever comes first. Do you feel anxiety? Do you feel small? Do you feel stressful? Do you feel sad? Whatever it is, whatever relationship you've struggled with the most, I want you to write that down, their name, and I want you to write down the words, at least 3 words that represent that person. And if you guys feel like sharing, that's great. If you don't feel pressured to. I know when it comes to relationships, we can get a little tricky how much we want to share. For me, it's going to be my mom. And that's the relationship that I'm working on healing right now. And for my mom, the words that come to mind are abandoned, selfish, draining. Mom, disappointment, neglect, sad. Good words, good words of description. I picked the toughest relationship we have because it's usually the one that began the building of our wall around our heart to begin with. And as we go through this healing, this is what happens as we move forward every day. The past repeats itself. We're literally walking through the same energy over and over and over again, in a sense, right? That spiral is happening. So as the past comes forward once again, every time we get an opportunity to reset, to redefine, to choose differently, respond differently, see it differently, integrate it, forgive it, all of those things. But when we allow that energy to come forward and it's still tainted or covered in the energies of abandonment, of disappointment, of disconnection, frustration, anxiety, it begins to turn that lens that's coming around us once again darker and darker. And so any type of things that show up in our reality for us to respond to, we start to push through that lens. We start to push all the experiences that we need to have an open heart for through the lens of our worst relationships, our most problematic, hurtful, heavy relationships. And we don't do it consciously. We do it very unconsciously. Our knee-jerk reaction is to protect our heart, to not feel those things again. And so any new relationship we enter into has some type of distortion. It's seen through these distorted lenses unconsciously. And we want to begin to break those walls down and to release the heaviness that accompanies it. Grinding, disconnected, I said that one. Tension, hurt, victim, controlling, responsibility, needy, angry, great words, enmeshed. These are beautiful words, you guys. Very descriptive. And Crystal, good point, controlling, because that's the other thing we do is we control our environment. And control is rooted in fear. We control our environment or feel the need to, so that we know what's going to happen and we can ensure our safety. When we talk about money, right, and we're going to come back to money just because I need to make this point. There's 4 money frequencies. I am safe. I am free. I am deserving. I am worthy. Because if you don't feel safe, you're not going to trust. And if you don't trust, that means all of your choices, all of your possibilities, all of your opportunities are all gone. And all you're left with is this one restrictive container that makes you feel like you are trapped. And when that happens, you don't feel deserving. And when you don't feel deserving, you don't feel worthy. And so anytime the past comes forward once again with that opportunity for us to clear that lens and to see things in a different way, we're giving ourselves another chance to see that situation and say, I am safe. I am free. Because you are safe. You can look around and say, I'm safe right now. I'm okay. I am free. I have choice. I have choices. I don't have to respond this way. I don't have to react. I don't need to feel this way because it's not serving me. I can choose differently. And because of that, I know that I'm deserving of that experience and I am worthy of a better experience. Once again, opening up that line of communication and telling the universe, it's okay. You can bring me stuff because I'm going to accept it openly into my heart. I'm going to receive it into my being. And I'm going to allow it to integrate and emanate and recycle and replenish continuously. And opening up that flow once again. And that is the most important thing. So I want you guys to close your eyes once again. And I want you to again take 3 conscious deep breaths and allowing it to kind of reset your energy. Now I want you to see this person before you. I want you to call in their higher self. And just imagine they're there. And if you're not good at imagining, just know that they are there. Just believe that they are there. And just see yourselves facing them. And I want you to tune into your body now. All the way into your body, all of your attention. As this person stands before you, what is your body saying to you? What does it feel like? I want you to take a moment and write down what you feel in your body. It's really important for us to notate these things and understand where this energy lives within us. So for me, I felt it in the back of my heart. So I'm at the back of my heart chakra, middle of my back, right at that bra line. And I also felt it in my throat. And that's always a sign that there's more to be said. There's things that need to be neutralized, you know? It feels like I cannot speak my truth. I know that feeling. I feel you. It feels dense. Where does it feel dense? Tell me where you feel that density. Heart chakra. Back of heart between my shoulder blades is where I've been holding her. Yep. Lower back, top of head, hurt, ache. Okay. Lower back for me is not feeling supported. Like that person had your back. That's what it means to me. It could mean something different to you, but that's what I feel. Awesome, you guys. Okay. So knowing this information, we're going to actually transform this information on our journey. Burning heart in the burning heat in the root, base of spine, burning out of my hips. Wow. It's powerful. Oh, it's the same for you. Okay. Yeah. Not being supported is actually what is my core wound. And it's usually the root of almost everything that I have in my life. Okay. So my hair is going to go up because it's getting warm in here. We got some energy pouring in. So with that piece of paper close to you and those energies felt in your body, take a sip of water and you guys can get into a comfortable space We're going to take a little bit of a journey, and we're going to rebirth. I am going to be doing some toning and some light language during this. I already know that. They've already told me that's coming. So I might back up a bit from my mic. But just know that if you don't have, one of you have headphones on, you might want to turn the volume down. If you're in an open space, you might want to get headphones because they're, I can get kind of loud. And we're going to take a little bit of a journey. If you're driving, you cannot be a part of this. Being portrayed in my core wound. Oh, is your core wound? There's a better word for that for you, and it hasn't come to be yet. So not being supported, for me, is actually denial. That's the official name that we give it. Denial or being denied. Because there are 6 core wounds that usually everything boils down to. And if you don't know, I'm going to tell you now, that core wound is actually imprinted at the moment of conception. The moment of conception, that wound is imprinted. Because remember, these are energies that we chose. Our slice of karma, we chose to dip into that collective energy that included things from our own other lifetimes, from our ancestors. We chose to heal these things. And so those show up, these energies show up in our reality and give us the opportunity to do so. Okay, so if you guys are ready, excuse me, we are going to start this journey. I don't think I've ever done it sitting up in a chair like this. Let's see what happens. It's kind of squeaky though. I don't like it. Actually, I'm going to switch my chair out because I don't want it to be squeaky. There we go. I wanted something more sturdy. Okay. All right. Closing your eyes. Just know if you fall asleep during this or you feel like you went into a sleep state, that's okay. Everything, all the energy will still have been facilitated on your behalf by your higher self, whether you're aware of it or not. So what we're going to do first is we are going to open you up to spirit and anchor you into Gaia all at the same time. And if you want to join me, you can take your hands like this, thumbs together, placing the thumbs at your sternum, and you want to have them out in that 90-degree angle. Okay? And I'm going to start with Ong Namo Guru De Namo. And you don't have to repeat it. You can just receive the vibration. Allow it to open you and anchor you all at the same time. Om Namo Guru Dev Namo Guru Dev Namo. Om Namo Guru Dev Namo. Infinite consciousness, gods and goddesses, angels, archangels, ascended masters, benevolent beings, ancestors, galactic families. We call on you this evening. We call on you during this sun's rebirthing. We ask for you to blend with our consciousness, to hold space and expand our being, placing us into a higher vibration where we may receive, where we may transform our own densities into expansion, into wisdom, into love, into unity, allowing for nothing to remain but a crystallization that holds all of the important information, the lessons, the opportunities, all that was made available to us. And knowing that many things in our life would not be with us today had those trials and tribulations not have taken place. And we set the intention to anchor in our heart space that today's problems, today's stresses, today's heaviness is an opportunity for expansiveness. It's an opportunity. When one door closes, another one opens. We set the intention to remember that when things aren't working, when things feel lonely, when things feel heavy, that we have the power. We have the power to transform that energy into wisdom, into love, and embody it with unity, to become one with it by accepting it fully, because we know that we may not receive what's next for us, what's in our highest and best for us. We will not receive more money, healthier relationships, until we accept fully where we are in this moment. And we hold that wisdom tight and release the rest. Knowing that when we move forward into any experience, that we have the option of putting it through the lens of our wisdom instead of our pain. Allowing the universe to let us receive more when we are ready. We set the intention to break the pattern of resistance and know that we actually don't need anything else in this moment. That we can accept ourselves where we are, for who we are, For what we have or don't have, we can accept it all, knowing that we are nothing and everything simultaneously. That when we accept and become one with the love of who we are, we actually expand. We increase our bandwidth. So when that next opportunity, when that next joy presents itself, that we won't just receive it, but we will receive more of it because we've expanded our bandwidth of what we can hold. And it's no longer cluttered by false perceptions and illusions put forth through the collective, put forth through our ancestors, because we have chosen to transform it. And just begin to breathe as we have Goddess Kali Ma stepping forward. Goddess Kali Ma represents rebirthing, using the dense energies as a fuel source for creating. She is magical and intense, and her favorite space is the dark because it's a space of limitlessness. It's a blank space to create anything, knowing that the light within you will always allow you to see clearly. You guys are in for a treat because some very magical multidimensional beings are stepping forward. These beings, there are only a few in the world currently working with. And I have been given permission to share their race. They are the Ablafilas. My personal guide, his name is Nehru. And these beings work through dimensions 1 through 10. And they're here to help us ascend, to anchor our light into our physical vessels, to allow the light codes to replace the density, begin to expand your being, and to experience joy in a way that you have never experienced it before. Ashatana asena moto ota asena ana ashata ono sena ma. Ashana esene mesenoto ona tena akana sana o. Ashana sene mato ona. Ashana e tonomo. Ashane otomo. Ashane otomo. In your mind's eye, see a doorway on your heart space. Allow yourself to open that door and enter into the magical world of your heart. I invite you to look around, to allow your imagination to run wild. Is it a beautiful garden? Is it a magical kingdom? It does not quite matter. Whatever it is for you is perfect. And I want you to get comfortable in this space. Begin to feel at peace. relaxed and open. And as you look around, I want you to see in your mind's eye a beautiful fire off in the distance, roaring, with Goddess Kali Ma and one of your guides, whichever is highest and best for you to see, feel, and know at this time. As you walk on that fire, you see a few logs that look a little different than you've ever seen before. The wood is soft and it is hollowed out inside with a beautiful slit opening on the top. And as you sit down in your chair, Goddess Kali Ma stands and brings you one of those logs. She places it in your hands. She says this log is magical. It has the ability to transform any energy into the energy of your choosing, leaving only but a crystal behind after it's done burning. And that crystal contains the wisdom from this journey, the wisdom that you have learned from whatever energy you're transforming, and the magic of what you want that energy to be moving forward. She asks you to reach into your pocket and pull out the papers that you ripped up that hold the frequencies and vibrations of your financial situation. Holding that in one hand and beginning to place it slowly into the log, into the opening. And she says, when you are ready, you may take that log and you may place it on the fire and allow for that energy to begin to transform. And as you do, she asks for you to tune into your body now, to feel what takes place within you as that log burns, transforming your financial situation into pure love, wisdom, and unity, into pure appreciation. Just take a few moments now and allow for that log to burn completely. And as that fire begins to dwindle down, you rise to your feet and you look into what remains in that fire pit. One crystal remains. I want you to look at the crystal. You can pick it up. It's not going to be hot, but it's going to feel amazing. What type of crystal is it? Do you even know the name? What does it feel like when you hold it? Can you feel the wisdom and the love and appreciation emanating from it? And Goddess Kali Ma says to you, my child, are you ready to rebirth this energy for you? Are you ready to begin a new cycle through the lens of the wisdom, love, and unity that you have come into with the energetic form known as money? And if you are, place that crystal into your heart and take a deep breath and allow it to move into your heart space. Begin to become one with you. Ashatataka, shatataka, 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 ashatatata. Ashatataka, shatataka, 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 shatataka. Beautiful. As you stand, you notice another soul entering into your heart space. This is the relationship that you have struggled with the most. The energies that have weighed on you, that have distorted your filters and closed your heart space off. As their higher self walks forward, you notice their higher self is in the form of a child. Their innermost child. And as this child walks up to you, you decide to sit down on the ground, crisscross applesauce, face to face next to this fire. As these beautiful light beings known as the Habla Filas begin to surround you, holding space for you, allowing you to feel their magical energy. This is your time, your chance, and the most safest sacred space to hear nothing but the divine truth. There cannot be anything else but the divine truth in this space. This is your space to ask questions and to have them answered, and allow you to understand the lens, the filter of which they were living through when they hurt you. This can invoke a very large emotional outburst. Tears, anger. You may start crying, you may start coughing, you may start wanting to yell. You may start wanting to fidget or to move. But hold still. Stand strong. Allow yourself this moment to face your past, to face this relationship, and receive from them in their most honest, divine innocence. You may ask questions, you may receive symbols or answers, or maybe a simple energetic exchange. But as you do, a cord will begin to form between the two of you. And at the end, we will cut that cord. But for now, the wisdom from this other person is needed to be received by you. And they need to hear what you have to say as well. So take a little bit of time and really allow for this to fully work itself out.
And as you finish that conversation, seeing now a fully formed cord between you and them, attached at the sacral, and beginning to crystallize now. As these beautiful light beings hand each of you a crystal knife, this cord between the two of you is a crystallization of all the wounds, of all the pain and density. We allow for any residual density, trauma, or pain from either party that still remains to be drawn out and infused into this cord. And when you are ready, I want you to see in your mind's eye, you placing that crystal knife to your skin, knowing that the other party, the other person, may or may not cut their side of the cord. And that's okay, either way. When you're ready to break free of the heaviness, of the trauma, of the way you see this person, and you're ready to see them through the lens of a child, a lens of love and forgiveness, then place that crystal knife against your skin and cut down. And as that cord falls, all of it shatters. And as it hits the ground, those fractal pieces begin to come back together in the form of a heart, melding to one another,
And whether this is only your half or the whole cord, it does not matter. The shattered fractal pieces, like little magnets, will come back to each other, forming a heart. And once again, Goddess Kali Ma asks for you to pick another log and to place that now formed heart into that log. And your other person may do the same. Everybody will experience something differently. And when you're ready to allow this energy to transform and crystallize, once again, just as you did with your financial situation, place that log on the fire and breathe deeply into that space, allowing for your life force energy to ignite it, almost as if you were a dragon. And allow it to burn and transform. Ashatana asete ano odno oshete nama ata ano osotote namato oshena a. Ashatana ase ina o se nama ata ashane ata ono o shinama. Oshenama, Oshenama, Oshenama. And as that fire dwindles down, once again, a crystal has formed, maybe two, depending on if the other person chose to join you. And you may now pick up that crystal and take note of it. What type of crystal is it? What color is it? What shape is it? What does it feel like to you? And when you're ready to hold the wisdom and the remembrance and accept this person and what you've experienced with them, to accept it fully for whatever it may be, knowing that it had a purpose. It was something you chose to experience so that you could change its form. Break this cycle of wounding and bleeding onto each other. If you are ready, my child, place that crystal into your heart and breathe it in, allowing it to integrate fully. And as it does, I want you to turn and say goodbye to the inner child of this person. I want you to embrace them fully. See yourself hugging them, loving them, having compassion for them, and sending them off back to their space and reality. Goddess Kali Ma instructs you, there's one last thing for you to do, my child. As she walks you back over to the fire that has now opened up and expanded. And in the center of that fire is a large patch of fresh, deep, dark, rich soil. She asks you to walk into the fire, to stand in the center of all the things that trigger you, ignite you, frustrate you, sadden you, weigh you down, to bring all of those things with you. Walk into them. Lean in. And as you do, sit down, lie down, get comfortable. It is going to feel uncomfortable at times. You may feel the heat. You may feel the power. And I ask you to know deep in your heart that this is all energetic and it will not hurt you in any way, shape, or form. But this is your chance to allow this fire that is burning all around you to begin to pull gently and comfortably all of those energies, pulling them from you, just as if you were in a steam room or sauna. Just allow for this fire to burn tall and fierce, detoxing your system, cleansing your auric field, allowing you to purge any judgments, any last things that you are holding on to. Just allow that process to take place now for just a moment. And I see these beautiful light beings surrounding the fire, protecting you, holding space for you. And as you purge and purge and purge, you begin to levitate, rising higher and higher above the fire. And as you do, it's as if you can see yourself now, the old version of you. It's as if you are looking down upon who you used to be. As you watch the fire now engulf that person completely, transitioning them quickly back into soil. As you feel this relief wash over you, as you have entered into the most expanded state there is, infiniteness. And as you find yourself now being pulled back down in your most limitless expanded state, you see that nothing remains but fresh soil, except for these little sparkles, these crystals, these diamonds that have enriched the soil so much. This is your new pot. This is your new energy. And right now we are going to plant 3 words, 3 intentions, 3 energies that represent your hope, your knowing of what's available to you in 2020 and beyond. So take a few moments now and really allow whatever comes through first, and to see those symbols, those words, whatever they may be for you, showing up, being planted by you into this now fresh soil. And with these energies now planted, ready for you to nurture it and feed it with your own light, nurture it with your own emotional waters and beliefs. Begin to build the new structure, the new practices, the new beliefs, the new actions and words. We ask for those things to now start coming to you over the coming weeks to help you form that structure complete. Your new pot, your new space for expanded growth and flow. And as you stand over this now garden that you have created in your heart space, we seal in these intentions by asking your guide and Kali Ma to take your hand, creating a trinity. As you feel your cells beginning to restructuring, as we invoke your DNA to do the same. By the power of 3, I release and seal thee. By the power of 3, I release and seal thee. By the power of 3, I release and seal thee. And so it is. The light beings surround you one more time, and they place their arms up high, allowing for the most joyful and grounding energy to begin pouring through you from the crown of your head through your entire column of light, so that you can feel it pouring from your feet, grounding you and activating the joy, that childhood, innocent joy, to be activated and brought forth. And as they complete and you bow to them and just show of appreciation and gratitude to both the light beings, Kali Ma, and your guide, we say thank you. We leave our heart space and return to our reality with a newfound appreciation and excitement for what's ahead, while also holding gratitude for the journey thus far, bringing us right where we are, perfect as we are. Knowing all the while that this space is yours. It is your sacred heart temple, and you may come there anytime you wish, just to relax and replenish, or to do the work of your soul. And I am so grateful for each and every one of you, and for the courage you took to do this journey to begin with. And I bless each and every one of you. You may begin to wiggle your fingers and toes, rotate your wrists and ankles. And when you are ready, you may return to me. And I would love if anybody is conscious enough to share a few words of wisdom from their journey, what you feel took place for you. It was really hard for me because I am a transmuter, so I will transmute for you guys. And I was trying so hard not to cough. My eyes were watering. Oh. Oh. So I'm just going to give you guys a moment to drink some water and come back. Oh. And then we're going to finish the ceremony. And I'm going to give you instructions on how you may kind of bring this full circle. I should probably put on my glasses so I can see. Lots of tears. Oh, I could feel that. I have a lot of energy in my hips right now for somebody. Somebody had a big hip expansion happening. I felt some other people having major heart openings. Oh, yay! New feelings of freedom, peace, and magic. Oh, I love it. That feels so good for you. That feels so good for you. I tell you guys, for me, I'm going to share a little piece of mine if you don't mind. I was with my mom's inner child, and she said to me that she was neglected, that all the attention came to her brother. They never saw her. They never heard her. She didn't feel important. They spent all of their time and resources on, well, we don't need the music anymore. She spent their parents spent all their time and resources on her brother. And so she felt very alone and unloved and unworthy. And when she got pregnant with me, her fear once again went to the lens of, my husband is not going to give me the attention that I need. It's all going to go to her now. And I could feel that. I could understand that. On a compassionate level, I could understand that. And it was very unconscious for her. And it's why she left to begin with, because she knew I deserved better. And so for that, I can set myself free. Lower back and hips. Okay, so that's what I'm feeling right now. I felt like I'm sprouting into a beautiful, fearless flower. I don't know how you guys are getting those little emoji thingies. I like it though, because that looks like a hibiscus, which is one of my favorite flowers. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take the paper that wrote down that person and all those heavy energies, and we are going to do the same thing that we did with that cord. No more. We're done with this pattern. We are not those energies. Our relationship gets to be different, and it is safe to be open to love. Do I have any water left? I do. And if it's safe to, I'm actually in a space where I won't set off a bunch of fire alarms. You can begin to burn these papers, or you can wait until we're off. Burning the papers to ash, and then you will take this outside, when weather permitting, obviously, and you're going to dig a small hole. And you can add herbs in it if you feel called. Whatever herbs you feel called to. You can even use the herbs in your pantry, okay? Because this is pretty much symbolic. Pick things that will cleanse and purify and nourish the earth. And you can add those in, and then you can dump the ash into the earth, and you can cover it up. And you can place one hand on your heart and one hand on that space and allow for new growth to take place. I actually love the smell of things burning. So let me get something to stir this up so all of it burns. And all I use, you guys, is a tea light, a little tea light candle. And you can get these cauldrons at metaphysical shops. You could probably even get it on Amazon, honestly. Or you can use a pan. And so it is. I was in bed listening. At some stage, hubby had come in to the bed, and as I came, his eyes rolled over and he spooned me. My mother's inner child just wanted a friend. I love that they brought this in this way, because when we look at anybody through the eyes of them as a child, something happens inside of us, and it allows us to open up and see and hear things in a different way that we may not have done before. And I know it was very, very powerful for me. And I hope that it was the same for you. This is an opportunity of rebirthing. And this is an opportunity for you now to be in that expanded state, and for you to begin to rebuild your structures. And those structures require you to show up differently every day, to speak differently every day, to breathe into the spaces when your body is screaming, this is not safe. For you to breathe into those spaces and say those frequency words. Remember, I am safe. I am free. I am deserving. I am worthy. When you have those 4 frequencies, you are anchoring the stability and safety within you, and you can take that everywhere you go. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much for showing up. Oh my gosh, my eyes are burning from the flames. I appreciate each and every one of you for showing up for this ceremony. Happy solstice. If you feel so called to share this with your tribe so they can allow themselves to go through it on their own, I would be so appreciative of that, I know, and I'm sure they would too. And I love each and every one of you, and I hope that you will grow and continue with me into 2020. There's so much amazingness coming. I love you guys all so much. You have a wonderful evening, and please hydrate. Drink lots and lots of water. And I just can't, I'm so filled with appreciation and gratitude right now. Thank you. Bye, guys.